Hi, I'm here to talk to you today about the changes I would make to a certain game called Metroid Other M. Now, I actually like this game quite a bit, unlike most people on the internet, unfortunately. There's many aspects of this game that I really, really like, but there's also a lot to complain about in the game, so there is. So, I'm gonna just talk about some of the changes I'd make to the game and the ideas I have surrounding certain aspects of the game. So, sit back and enjoy. Oh, I'm going to talk about the controls first, since people have always talked about the story of Other M. The first thing is I like the controls of Other M quite a lot. I think they're very smooth and they're very nice. There's just one little thing about it. Um, you can't fire missiles in normal mode, and that's kind of a big thing because it's nice to fire missiles in normal mode, and it seems easily solvable. When you're in first person mode, you have to press B to fire missiles, and in normal mode, B doesn't do anything. It's not even listed on the manual. You probably can't see that, but there's no actual B button even listed on your manual for what you do in normal mode. The B button does absolutely nothing. And basically what I should do is open the missile hatch and let Samus shoot missiles. Now you could argue that this would make the missiles overpowered in normal mode, and but yeah, that's true. That's the way they are in all Metroid games. But the thing is, what they should have done as well is to keep the floaty balls around and the floating missile things around. Like, I don't know why they got rid of them. Concentration is a nice feature. It's cool. Like when you're low on health, you get an extra boost. But they should have kept in the glowing balls and the missiles as well. There seemed like no point, and they should have just made it so you can only refill missiles when you're completely out. And that as you go through, you find missiles floating around and energy balls floating around to recover health and missiles. Like, I don't know why they removed that. It's kind of strange because it's always been around the Metroid kind of franchise, and it's just a bit strange, like, that they left it out. It's kind of annoying the way the only way you can get back to full health after losing it is to go to a save station. Like, concentration will not get you all the way to full health unless you're playing in hard mode. So yeah, that's the primary change I'd make to the gameplay, is to have the missiles and energy balls floating around and have it so you can make missiles shoot in third person. And also make it so you can move around in first person, because the arrows, I don't think the arrow buttons do anything in first person either. And I wouldn't like it to be like a full on Metroid Prime kind of gameplay style, but like just be able to try and avoid attacks by moving left and right. First person would help, and just be able to move forward. Like, make it so it's kind of impractical to use full time, but just have it so you're not just like a sitting duck when you're trying to shoot a missile in third person. I don't think I have anything else to say in that matter, except the search sequences. That's the only kind of thing in gameplay I get rid of too. You know, the times where you're stuck there and you have to look around and you have to find like this bit of green and a patch of green, or these like little things in the middle of a really dark corner. Like, they are just annoying, and that should just go, because I can't see why anyone getting fun out of that. Like, it's just, or just make some of them easier, because I spent ages on not my first playthrough, but my second playthrough as well. Before the Guy Hunter King, I could not find the things to look at there. Like, just it's pretty annoying. Like, just, I don't know, get rid of them or make them quite a bit easier. Now, the next thing I'm going to go on to is probably the stupidest thing in the entire franchise. One of the most stupidest things I've seen in video games. And I really do like the game, but this really annoys me, is the authorization things. The way you can only use your weapons when Adam authorized them. And it's just so stupid, so it is. The worst thing of all is that they didn't need to do it, because at the end of Super Metroid, Samus actually loses all her weapons anyway. When Mother Brain's attack hits, she loses all her missiles and power bombs, and then when she gets the hyper beam, she can't use any of her older beams. So that's it. Like, you can have an excuse at the start of the game if you want excuses. Like, they seem to really like excuses in Metroid games at the moment. Like, the Metroid Prime games give excuses as to why Samus doesn't have weapons, and yeah, Metroid Fusion did as well. Metroid Fusion was the only one I actually liked, with the excuse, the only one that made sense. But this Other M had a ready excuse available as to why Samus doesn't have her equipment, and they just went with just terrible way of getting around it by saying Samus can only use her weapons when she's authorized, which is just so stupid. So it is. And this is what they should. It's okay. I'll talk a little bit more about how stupid it is because it is really stupid. I can understand the power bomb thing. That's the main reason I'm guessing they did it, is to have the power bomb at the end with the Queen Metroid fight, which was awesome, I admit. And there's a couple of badass moments when Samus activates the stuff by herself after Adam leaves. But the concept of it to begin with is just ridiculous. It's the main idea is that they don't want Samus too powerful in case she accidentally killed someone, alright? But there's no reason why giving Samus like the ability to space jump or her gravity suit would do anything but enhance her ability to be useful. Like, her being at the space jump is not going to actually harm anyone except make the other soldier just jealous. That's basically about it. I can get where they're coming from in some regards, like the military operation, but it's just really, really stupid thing to play out, like, with Samus even agreeing to this. And the timing once you activate it is just ridiculous as well. Like, do I have to go through the heated areas before Adam decides to let Samus use the virus suit? Like, that's cool. I can see where they're going. They want to have some heated area scenes where you're going, but that seems to have been decided before they decided the like authorization thing. And same with the gravity suit area. Like, it's cool. You're having gravity. You're walking along the ceiling. It's heavy gravity. It even makes less sense because Adam isn't even with Samus anymore, and she's already authorized things by herself. Like, she should have just authorized the gravity suit. That's the logical thing. Like, so it's kind of stupid. So it's quite ridiculous. And like, I remember one time where the path you need to go is right there, but you have to go all the way around a big loop to get the speed booster. Adam could have just authorized the speed booster on the spot. You actually have to loop around the entire Sector 2 to get the speed booster. Okay, this is what they should have done. Use the excuse at the start of the game that after the Hyper Beam, Samus has lost most of her abilities, okay? Excuse me. We'll ignore the fact that she didn't lose the space jump and stuff like that. But she lost most of her abilities due to negative effects of the Hyper Beam, okay? Samus goes to the bottle chip. They find out that the bottle chip have been researching Samus's weapons. It's a bioweapon research facility, and Samus is pretty much a bioweapon herself, so they're researching all of her attacks. And this makes a lot of sense. Like, I can't remember my point, but I think there's certain things that kind of resemble Samus's abilities in the game, and there's kind of some morphball things, not kind of like you had before, but I'll probably cut this out now because I'm rambling. Sorry. Okay, so Samus goes to the bottle chip. She sees that they're researching her weapons. The first thing she collects is like the bombs. Adam tells her to go restore power. She finds the morph ball and the bombs kind of add on, or maybe even have the morph ball by itself. She finds the bombs add on. While they're researching bombs, they also research power bombs in the exact same area, because why wouldn't you? She gets the bombs and the power bombs at the same time. Adam tells her, no, Samus, don't use power bombs. I can't authorize you to do that. Just power bombs by themselves, so you can still keep the Queen Metroid thing at the end. Because even just mentioning power bombs at the start seemed like kind of a real dead giveaway. Like, it seemed kind of out of place to say, yeah, by the way, we're never gonna let you use power bombs. Like, if Adam said it as when Samus gets them, then it would make more sense in the context. And so basically just go through the game like that, where have a lot of sequences where you're going off searching for weapons as well. Like not your mission isn't to search for weapons, like, but to get to certain areas you have to go find a weapon. Like, you hit a door and Adam says, search around for some missiles or something like that. You know what I mean? That's why it would have made sense. The authorization thing is just pure stupid. Okay, move on to something new. Okay, that's pretty much it for the gameplay controls and mechanics. I'm going to go into the plot next. Now, unlike most people, I actually did not have a lot of problems with the plot. I had some problems, but not the common problems. Like, I actually did not mind Samus's characterization in this game at all. I think it was actually very similar to how she's been depicted in other media, in the manga and the way she's shown in other games as well. She's not really outspoken. I'm not going to talk about that now. What I'm going to talk about right now is the deleter subplot, which I actually really, really liked. The deleter thing was really, really cool. You had this mysterious Federation soldier going around killing each other and like picking them all off, and it gives Samus a reason to doubt Adam, and it was really, really cool. But I even like the way it fizzled out at the end. Samus doesn't find out who the deleter is. You have to kind of piece it together yourself by looking back on the game. But what I But just what a little bit that I didn't like about it was how the Federation soldiers didn't really have a lot of screen time. Number one, KG dies far too soon after Maurice. If you can't remember, you find Maurice in Sector 2 in the ice place, then you fight the leader in a boss fight, and then you go in the elevator, and the next thing you see is the leader killing another soldier in Sector 3. And fair enough, it's a cool scene. He throws the body in the lava, then you don't find it afterwards. Like, and if you look in the logbook and the epilogue, then his body still hasn't been found because it's melted away. That's all really cool, and the scene is cool, and everything's cool, except it happens far too soon after Maurice dies. This basically means like Samus's objective after fighting the leader is to go to Sector 3. And this guy warps to Sector 3. He gets quicker there than Samus. He gets there quicker than Samus Aran. Like, he's just there fighting you, and then he's gone in Sector 3, the place you're heading to. Like, that doesn't make any sense. How did he get there? The only thing I think of is that, like, that scene doesn't happen in chronological order, like, that it happens later on. Which it should. It should just show it later on. The only thing I can think of is a KG with the throwaway character to decide to add in at the end, because I hear he is named after some kind of guy who died recently in Japan when the game came out. And they just kind of threw away KG in that scene there after the game was finished. But yeah, everything about it that's in the game already about the leader is nice, and I like it. I would have just liked a bit more from the Federation soldiers. I would have liked Samus to have met them before the leader killed them. Like, maybe not Maurice, since you meet him in the training area and all that, but just KG and James before the ending of the game, before they both die. Have Samus just meet them and be all like untrusting of them and kind of wary and like ready as if they're about to pull a gun on her, and just kind of like that, because the leader has to be sneaky about his approach. He can't really attack Samus head on with a big machine because Samus will destroy him because he's just human. So yeah, I like the leader scene, but I just would have liked a bit more impact from the Federation soldiers, a bit more depicting their personality, because you don't really care about them. It's more funny to see them all getting picked off one by one rather than actually caring about the fact that your comrades have died, like, you know. So yeah, that's just one thing about the leader subplot that I would have liked. A bit more input from the Federation soldiers and meeting them a bit more, giving them just a bit more screen time before the end of the game. And now we move on to the final bit of the game that I didn't really like, and it's probably the thing I had the biggest problem with, aside from the authorization stuff, was the ending. I was enjoying the plot of the entire game all the way through. I really liked the plot of the game. Samus' monologues didn't bother me. They're not actually as numerous as people say they are if you haven't played the game and all that. But then the ending came. Basically, the ending hits you with a load of information, and then the game just ends. It's pretty disappointing, so it is. Basically, there's a great final boss against the Queen Metroid. I like that, and it's a damn nice way to finish a game. A throwback to Metroid 2 and having the Queen of all Metroids like as the final boss. It's a pretty good. It was a pretty nice way. It's just the stuff that happens after that. It's kind of annoying the way it happens. Like, the plot is nice, the plot is good, but it's just the execution at the very end I didn't like. And above all that else, the game's pretty short as well. It's only about a 10-hour game for 100%, and like, you'd finish it in half that if you're just running through and not looking for anything, say in hard mode. I suppose that can be said for all Metroid games. Like, I can finish Metroid Fusion in almost an hour now at this point. But it just felt unfulfilled, because basically when you last see Adam, he gives you 3 missions. He says Samus has to secure the passenger's safety, she has to stop the ship, and she has to stop Ridley. Ridley is really depicted up for a second fight in the game that doesn't happen. He survives, and like Adam says, he's a big threat to Metroids, and then he goes and dies off screen, which is also really good. It's a nice way of linking it with Fusion, and I like that happened. But I'm disappointed you didn't get a second fight with Ridley, because the game practically promises you a second fight with Ridley. Like, one of Adam's best lines in the game is that I wish I could fight Ridley. I'm no galactic savior. You have to all do that stuff. Like, I can't save the universe, but I can save you. Like, that's probably his best line. And he's saying, like, Samus, you go fight Ridley, and then you don't fight Ridley. It's annoying, so it is. So yeah, you get 3 objectives by Adam at the end, near the end of the game. Secure the prisoner, stop the ship, and fight Ridley. You do one of those things, and the game ends. you should do all three for an extra 2 hours in the game. You should go traveling to like the bridge of the ship, like the place where you fought Frontoon, like, and like the battle ship is shown to be huge. I'd like to explore a bit more area, like instead of backtracking there for like it's nice. I like everything that they did with the backtracking and the exploring, but I would have liked an extra area to explore before the end of the game to go up and find the brakes of the ships and stop that, because that's the most pressing thing. Like securing the prisoner is pretty important, but if you don't stop the brakes, then the Federation would likely nuke you if you came in their territory, like just charging in this machine. So I think pressing the brakes was the most critical thing. That's what you should have done first. And I think the way it should have played out was that when you're pressing the brakes, you get ambushed by Ridley again, and you have another boss fight with him. And maybe to make it different, have him use the super missile shield in that fight instead of the first one, and have a more cutscene kind of quick time event like they do with the end with the Queen Metroid. And then after you do that, you maybe secure the prisoner in the same area, because I suppose it makes sense that she's an MW, the Madeline. You secure the survivor in the same area. She gives you all the information that you find out at the end of the game, right then. So you go off and have a fight with a boss battle with MB, because it was disappointing that MB was not a proper boss. It's like the basic end of the game is you shoot her once, and that's not fun. So you want to fight like a human incarnation of Mother Brain, and they could have had a really interesting fight with her, like her in the middle with all this psychic energy going around her and summoning loads of enemies and having all throwback to Mother Brain's attacks. It could have been really cool. And then when you like kind of beat her in the fight, then like on a different part of the spaceship from the bridge, where you go to do the brakes and defeat Ridley, and they shoot Ridley down a hole or something, and then you follow down after him to a different section where MB is in the Queen Metroid. You fight MB in a boss fight, and then she releases the Queen Metroid to attack you, because it's already been said that she's like the mother to Queen Metroid. And then the basic game ends with Samus beating the Queen Metroid, and then have the actual ending that they have so far as to be like MB weakened, like kind of a Liquid Snake kind of last ditch resort to attack you to get your revenge at the end of the game with the gun, and then have the Federation troops rush in. It just felt really unfulfilling to get all that information about MB and then not fight her as a boss in the way they did in the game. It would have been better to get that information beforehand and then go off and fight her in a boss battle. And it could have been a really, really cool boss battle and a much more satisfying end to game using the exact same things, just in a different order and with a boss battle. That's basically all I have to say about it. Give me a rate, comment, and tell me what you think. I might do more of these videos because I have quite a few feelings on quite many games, and I'm in a game development course, so there are things I'd like to change, mix and match with games like. But is a game I really would have liked to have worked on, and I think it's a real pity that people didn't like the game, because it's pretty good. I know there's a lot to complain about. Like, I've made this video because of the stuff I had to complain about. But overall, there's a lot of solid stuff in the game. It has really nice gameplay, and the bosses are fun, and it's a nice game overall. And I am disappointed that people don't like it. I can see why people don't like it, but I felt that some of the major things could have been easily changed, and that's just disappointing. So I'll leave you to it then. Until next time.